Damn, Telltale is just pumping these out every month, and I don't know if that could be a good thing or a bad thing. For the most part, it looks like it's paying off because we got the third episode for Telltale's Batman series entitled New World Order. And I'll be talking about the story more so than the gameplay or the actual technical aspects about the game, so your warning is right here. Spoilers will follow. And it's funny that the last episode was called Children of Arkham because that's where we got introduced to said Children of Arkham. It is here in the third episode where they finally make their move and prove to be a very worthy adversary for Batman, because here is where they really start to, Telltale at least, starts to show how they're taking their creative licenses with the Batman mythology, because by the end I was floored with the twists that they served us. Before that, however, I feel like the first half, actually I'll go as far as to say the first 2/3 of the episode, the first 2 acts, were kind of been there, done that. There was nothing really captivating about the things that I was doing as either Bruce Wayne or Batman. I understand that their emphasis is mostly on Bruce Wayne rather than doing all the action stuff with Batman, because that's kind of Rocksteady's thing, whereas Telltale is all about the characters. It's all about the relationships. So we see a little bit more of that with Bruce, his conversations with Harvey Dent about how good friends they are, him having to make a choice between Dent and Montoya, and to me, personally, that choice didn't really matter a whole lot because it looked like things were kind of okay for Montoya. It kind of makes sense for me to go after Dent. And then later we have this little subplot with, well, it's not really so much of a subplot, but more of a little bit of a cog in the machine that is the grand plan that Cobblepot is trying to orchestrate, where he kind of takes over Wayne Enterprises. And that was interesting, but it was kind of a little plot device that we've seen not only in Batman with the movies and the animated show and the comics and everything, but superhero properties in general, whether they be shows or movies. How many times have we seen a big CEO be overthrown by the board, and then they either get mad about it or they say this isn't over? And how many times have we seen that before? So in my opinion, the momentum definitely kicked up when Batman actually goes to that train station to kind of foil the Children of Arkham's plan, especially the head of the Children of Arkham. And that was a very cool, intense sequence. Not only was it cool to see Selina kind of come back after my choice of kind of letting her take the bullet instead of Harvey getting mutilated, and that entire sequence was cool. The choreography was also really well done. I felt like the action was a little bit snappier, and my actual movements of having to hit the right buttons with the QuickTime events kind of mattered a bit more. I mean, still the occasional wrong button still leading to the right consequence happened that kind of takes away from the tension, but still I felt like some of those mechanisms kind of came and went, and I'm like, oh shit, press the button, and it actually kind of threw me off. And this head of the Children of Arkham, the masked figure, I can't remember if he or she has a definitive name, but it definitely a very cool villain. It has a nice little design, but also the way this person fought back was also an interesting way. And then we have that sequence followed by Bruce and Selina being in the room together. Not only was it kind of frisky seeing them get it on, but at least for my playthrough, because that was the choices that I made, but what struck me as much more compelling was them taking off their costumes, not like that, but taking off the costumes, healing their wounds, almost like regular people. They're we have Batman and Catwoman in an apartment talking like regular people, looking at each other like having a very normal conversation. We've seen Bruce by himself taking off his costume and contemplating what he has done, but I've never really seen him do that with like another person, especially Selina Kyle, at least from my perspective. Maybe he's done it a number of times in the comics, maybe he's doing it right, and maybe we're seeing kind of an interpretation of that in Gotham, the TV show, which sadly I kind of gave up. And then the ending. Holy shit. Vicky. Why Vicky? Why? And it kind of makes sense for it to be Vicky Vale to be the main villain, because it almost serves as a little bit of a comeuppance for not only various characters in the Batman mythology, but Batman himself. Because how many times have we seen Bruce in the movies or in the games or in the comics kind of treat Vicky to a certain extent like shit? Like, he's always like, I don't have time for interviews right now, Miss Vale, another time. Like, how many times have we seen him do that? So for Vicky Vale to be the leader of Children of Arkham is very, very interesting, to say the least. Now, how are they going to tie this in with the overall plot of the story? That's what I'm hoping episode 4 does well, because they're going to have to tie an awful lot of things together in a very, very cohesive way. The only major problem with episode 3, besides those first 2/3 that didn't really captivate me as much as this last third, which I guess it's a good thing in and of itself, because you want the last act to kind of be better than the previous 2 acts, to kind of end it on a high note, and it did. but I do not understand Harvey Dent turning into Two-Face, considering my choice at the end of episode 2. I did not know, while playing episode 2, that if you were to go ahead and save Selina and leave Harvey getting hit by that light by Penguin, he actually does get half of his face burnt, therefore leading him to his downfall and to becoming Two-Face. And that's very interesting. And if that was the choice I had made, then his transformation here in episode 3 to listening to the voices in his head and having that split personality would have made sense. But the problem is that that was not my choice. I actually chose to save him. So him starting to kind of do the two voices of like the pitiful Harvey Dent and then all of a sudden Two-Face, which Travis Willingham is doing a very excellent job. I love the way he's portraying the character, especially because of his design. He looks like a very thick-necked gym rat. It is very intimidating to hear that voice coming out of him, so I love the portrayal. I just think that the pacing for it is very off considering my choice at the end of episode 2. It almost makes me wish that I could replay episode 2 so that then I can choose to save Selina, therefore strengthening our relationship and maybe making the transformation of Harvey Dent mentally. It would make a lot more sense considering his physical disfigurement. Maybe if this were to happen in episode 4, or maybe none at all, I would have loved to have we have a universe where Vicky Vale just turned into a bad guy, a villain. Why not have Harvey Dent just stay Harvey Dent and not become Two-Face? I was actually hoping that to come out of my decision to save him over Selina, but it looks like that's gonna happen anyway. So even though New World Order was still a pretty good episode, I feel like I was much more invested with the last act rather than the first 2/3. I felt like I was going through the paces that Telltale already kind of put me through in the first 2 episodes, so that's a little bit of a bummer. I feel like that kind of dips this episode into being probably kind of sort of the worst for the season so far, but that last cliffhanger definitely has me looking forward to episode 4, which I'm expecting to come out next month, but here's to hoping that maybe they could take their time to kind of give us that definitive episode that's going to make me go, holy shit, this thing is totally worth it. So for now, I'm going to have to give New World Order a very, very high 7 out of 10. I know, it kind of hurts me to give it that rating. It's still a pretty good rating, but it's that last third that definitely saved it from being just an okay episode. So if you guys have played the newest episode of Telltale's Batman series, please let me know in the comments what you guys think. What do you think of these brand new twists? What's going to happen with Vicky? What's going to happen with Bruce now that he's injected? Even though we kind of seen that as well before in different interpretations of Batman, but here's hoping that Telltale could take that as well and make it new again. And please subscribe for more videos coming up very soon. Like and share this video, and as always, make sure to take very well of yourselves. I don't know what the hell that was, but I needed a closing for the video. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Children of Arkham are using our tech to listen in on